Well, as we collectively all navigate the 1 year mark of the COVID era, some may be having trouble still dealing with the overwhelming nature of it all. Even though there is hope on the horizon for many, the entire experience may have even stripped you of your happiness and potentially positivity. So joining us once again is mental toughness expert Eric Rittmeyer himself, the emotional Marine, here to offer some valuable advice to help us shake off the COVID blues and get back to being happy again. I love this. Good morning, Eric.
Brendan, good to see you again, buddy. Thanks for having me. 1 year in this craziness. It feels like a few weeks. I don't know. It's crazy.
It does. It seems impossible. But I look at it this way. If it weren't for COVID, then you wouldn't know what the inside of my home looks like.
Or your hair up close. I love your hair. I'm envious, man. I love it. Come on. Good. I like the positivity. Love it.
I think you and I are like before and after, but that's not why we're here. Let's get right to it here. You know, this is such an important topic, all kidding aside, and the work that you are tirelessly performing day in and day out is of an invaluable use to so many people out there. But first of all, the notion of being happy is one that a lot of people struggle with, but it's all connected and has everything to do with mental toughness, doesn't it?
It does, and it sounds crazy, Brandon. Right here, mental toughness. Now everybody automatically defaults to this jumping jacks and push-ups and running 10 miles. Mental toughness, in 2 words, is all about emotional control. We're horrible as humans. We're hardwired to feel first and think later. We lose control of the emotion, and if we lose control of it, we don't know how to react to situations. We get put in positions where people say things we don't like, or they believe in things we don't believe in, and we automatically go to this place of anger and being upset, letting the emotions get the best of us. We lash out at people, we ruin relationships, and most importantly, we internally take this stuff on, and it wrecks our happiness because we're not able to shelf it and move on to the next thing.
That's so very true, and I think so many can really, their mindset can align with that on some level because of everything that we're dealing with. So let's go through some of the examples of things that happy people never do, because these are so connected and you outline them so articulately. So let's talk about the first one. And it seems so simple, but it is so involved. They never make assumptions, right?
You know what happens? I can't say this on air, Brendan, but you know what it makes out of you and me when we do that, right? And this is what we do. This is what we, as humans, this is what we do when we have incomplete information in front of us. We automatically fill in the blanks. And the problem is we fill in the blanks based on things that might have happened in the past that are totally out of context. They have nothing to do with the current situation. But we fill in those blanks. We make assumptions. It ends up a lot of times making us unhappy, making us sad, because we assume it's going to be the same it was in the past when totally different context. So assumptions are really bad. We never benefit from them.
Yeah, and that can kind of spiral out of control too. So another thing here, number 2, if you will, out of the 4 is people who are happy, they don't gossip. And that's a tough one for so many people because it can be so alluring to, oh, I've got this piece of information or I have this to share. That's a tough one to navigate.
Oh, it sure is. And the problem with gossip here, Brendan, is it degrades our own character and totally wrecks the reputation of someone else. A lot of times you don't even know. I mean, how often do these people say things about people they never even met them before? And it's like, wow, that's pretty tough stuff. Like, did you meet him? Was he a horrible person? Well, I never met him before, but so-and-so told me. It's like, we can't do that. And the problem is, again, it wrecks people's reputations. It can ruin their families. It can ruin their careers. We should never gossip about other people. And the other thing is, if somebody's gossiping to you about somebody else, they're probably gossiping to somebody else about you. So it's like, what are we in here? It's like this vicious cycle, right?
Right. And we need to do everything we can to thwart that internally so that way we can be happier and develop that mental toughness, which is so important, especially, like you said, as we come up on this 1 year COVID anniversary or experience it now as we are. Let's get to number 3. People, they don't feel sorry for themselves. This is another characteristic of happy people because it's so easy to get down in the dumps, Eric, isn't it?
It's so easy. And here's the great thing about this, I think, Brendan, is it's okay to feel sorry for yourself. That's understandable. That's acceptable. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry, to yell, to scream, to cuss. But when it comes to especially feeling sorry for ourselves, we can't spend a whole much time in that pity party. The longer we spend there, the more difficult it is to dig ourselves back out. So I think it's important to point out, it's okay to feel sorry for yourself. It's absolutely okay. Get control of it. Realize what caused it. Figure out ways to deal with it. Develop some sort of defense mechanism moving forward, but don't allow yourself to stay there too long. It's like a diet. The longer you stay off that diet, the more difficult it is to get back on the wagon again. Fall down, dust yourself off, get back up, move on.
Absolutely. And lastly here, happy people do not hold grudges. This is so important.
Oh my goodness. There's this old quote by Mark Twain. I'm not sure if you've heard this. They say, anger is the acid that does more harm to the vessel in which it's stored than on anything on which it's poured. And if you think about this, when we hold these grudges, we internalize it, we keep it inside. We can't allow ourselves to heal because we constantly go back to whatever it was that caused the pain. All we're doing is wrecking ourselves. Get over it, be upset about it, realize what made you upset, learn from it moving forward. Don't let it happen again, but don't hang on to it. It's just going to deprive yourself of happiness.
Absolutely. Those are such valuable points, and I'm so glad you could elucidate them a little bit here and explain them for us. Lastly here, before we let you go, I know that you're a successful author. I see the big book cover there every time I chat with you, and it's such a great resource. Let's talk about the tools and things you have available for people right now.
I appreciate that, Brendan. Thank you so much. Yeah, my website is mentaltoughnessspeaker.com. I have all kinds of free downloads, free e-guides, reports, things for everything that you want to know about. Everything's there on my website. I really appreciate that. I do this big book to take away the emphasis from my big head. That's why I do it. So it works pretty well, right?
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to have to get a giant Kindle so I can get it digitally. Eric,
that would be large.
Right? It would. It's always so nice to chat with you. As you know, I'm a firm believer and advocate for good mental health, and there are so many things that we're all dealing with right now, especially hopefully coming out of this COVID era, doing our best to get through it. So thanks for sharing the information, and it's always great to check in with you.
Brendan, you're the man. Thanks for having me, brother. I'll see you soon.
A pleasure. If you guys would like to review any of these tips or to get Eric's information, we'll have links to his website at rhodeshow.com.
We are in the Rhode Show kitchen this morning, and man, oh man, what